guys on the same page. There's a lot of information in this packet concerning imperialism, and I just want to make sure that you guys are up to speed and that we're good to go, able to move on today. So make sure you have it out in front of you. Make sure also that, we're going to be talking about this information and stuff, so make sure you have a pencil as well to maybe add more information to what you have already. That would be useful, especially when you're studying for the test, to have that in front of you, instead of having to search through your reading packet again. Okay. So as we go through this, volunteer your answers, and we can talk about it a little bit, but we're going to kind of cruise through this and just kind of put it aside. All right, so let's take a look. Study guide part 2. Who would like to read the first question, or first answer for us? Go ahead, Cassidy.
One of the first decrees of the new government issued on July 1, 1885 gave the state the right to take for itself vacant lands not effectively occupied by Africans. This one law placed almost the entire territory in the hands of the new free state.
Yeah, so one of the decrees of the new government, so the new government meaning the Belgian government in the Congo, basically said that you can take lands that aren't occupied by Africans. But this could be their hunting lands, this could be their firewood gathering land, but in their terms this would be vacant. So if it's vacant, then you can take it and use it for yourself, basically. All right, question number 2. Why did Leopold create the Force Publique? This is on page 13. Go ahead, Drew.
To deal with revolts and keep track of everything that's going on in the frontiers.
Yeah, so basically to control the African populations, to use force to put them under the control of the Belgian government. Cassie, are you good?
Yeah, fine.
Okay. Making sure you're all right. Okay, yep, just to basically control those African populations. Good. And why did Leopold want to defeat the Swahili traders in the eastern areas? Let's talk about Tipu Tip and his fellow raiders. So what was happening there? Why did he want to defeat them? What you got, Kate?
They were stealing his wealth by bringing ivory and slaves to the East Coast, and they resented the new restrictions.
Right. So these Swahili-speaking traders were doing this for decades, right? They were taking ivory and slaves to the east coast of Africa, and this obviously is on the opposite coast from where the Congo is being under control of Belgium, all right? And he wanted to defeat them because he felt like they were stealing from him. They were stealing resources from his land, okay, that he occupied for much less time than these Swahili traders have been. Okay. So why was the Congo Free State not able to make a profit in the early years? Go ahead, Matt.
The government was losing 3 million
Francs.
a year because it spent so much more than it was able to make.
Yep, they were spending way too much more than they were good. Were you going to contribute?
Yeah, a little more. It's a junior officers were collecting enough rubber and ivory to be profitable.
Yep, so at this time, when they first began, it was the officers collecting the rubber. They weren't using the African citizens or people within the Congo to collect it for them. So they weren't able to collect it at a fast enough rate to make a profit. And it says they were losing 3 million francs a year. All right. So how did King Leopold develop his image as a great humanitarian leader, right? He's looking for money, he's looking for funds to continue this venture in the Congo. And he's obviously not making money, so he needs to get it from somewhere. So he begins to develop his image as a humanitarian leader. So how does he do this? Which ways do he do this? Anybody have an idea? Chris, what do you got? Number 5.
He assured people he was investing his personal wealth in projects that would benefit the country.
Right, so he was telling people, listen, I'm putting my own money into this to ensure that I am helping the Congolese people, okay, so you should too. And obviously him being a king, he might have some more influence than other people. But he also, if you look further down on page 13, he says that these funds would be used to combat the slave trade. that was happening in eastern Congo. Right? Obviously, that's not the truth. He was using it to employ his workers so that they can collect rubber. But he was kind of creating this disguise that he could hide behind, that he was a humanitarian, that he was helping to civilize the country, that he was helping to end the slave trade, which isn't at all true. He was creating this disguise, this persona to work behind, right? It's just kind of the front that he would use to get money, to get more funds to be donated towards his cause. All right, so it's very, very mischievous, very tricky. All right, 6A, why did private companies complain about restrictions to free trade in the Congo state? What do you got, Hannah?
The companies, they were outraged by the restrictions on on free trade, which the Berlin Act had carefully protected years before.
Yep, so when these private trading companies began to lose out to the Free State government, which not only paid taxes but also collected the potential income. So these companies were restricted on their free trade that the Berlin Act had guaranteed. And eventually, Leopold is trying to shove them out. He's trying to make it more privatized, and he's trying to push out those public companies or private trading companies and make it more his own. He's trying to create his own kind of empire here. So they were pretty mad because he was going against this Free Trade Act that all these powers had signed. All right, but how did he respond to these complaints? What did he end up doing to kind of ease this tension? Dan, what do you got?
He granted concessions to 2 of the companies.
Yeah, so he took 2 companies who were controlled through friends of his, right? So it's kind of just giving a favor to a buddy and letting them, have these huge swaths of land to gather rubber and ivory. And basically they were allowed to detain Africans who didn't work hard enough. They were allowed to police their vast areas as they saw fit and take all the products of the forest for themselves. Okay, but these were his buddies, so just kind of a favor for them who could reap the money. What's going on?
I've sort of begged for a couple people. My car's stuck in the snow, and I just need their help.
No.
No.
Go to the office and figure it out,
Yeah,
okay?
they said that the maintenance people aren't here today. They're Eastern, so they can't help me at all.
Well, why do you have to go somewhere right now? It's 9 o'clock. Do you have to go anywhere?